It continues to focus on the president's push to bring more refugees from Syria to the United States. And after the president ran into opposition on this, he opened fire on the GOP.
When candidates say we wouldn't admit 3-year-old orphans, that's political posturing. When individuals say that we should have a religious test and that only Christians, proven Christians, should be admitted, that's offensive and contrary to American values. I cannot think of a more potent recruitment tool for ISIL.
Dana Perino is a co-host of The Five right here on Fox. She served as White House press secretary under President George W. Bush. And you took real issue with those comments. Why?
Well, it's a series of things. First of all, I think that one of the things that he said about Republicans being afraid of widows and orphans and that they were afraid of 3-year-olds, I said, well, that is a really dangerous game to play. He's ratcheting it up rhetoric because the first thing that I could say in response if I wanted to hit him back is to say, why weren't you there to care for them when they were newborns 3 years ago when you decided to do nothing, when Assad was gassing his own people? Now they're to a point where they're in refugee status, and it is not their fault. And I agree that there are ways that we can help to try to bring refugees here legally. I think we should be more worried about the illegal piece. If you were a student and loved great presidential moments of rhetoric and leadership, yesterday was not one of those.
We covered the Syrian crisis before it turned into a true civil war. Assad was just murdering his own people.
Yes.
And good people were trying to fight back. This little girl became the face of that crisis for us because the United States wasn't getting involved. Look at this little girl amid the wreckage of her home, her family. We never found out what happened to her, but there were thousands of others just like her, and the United States didn't get involved. We didn't care that much about the children back then. Now it's morphed into something more unimaginably bad than anybody could have considered.
One of the things Americans want to be is proud of their country, and I think at this moment they're not. What is sad to me also is that the president actually could have support to change his strategy, but his strategy has been so bad, the results are so demonstrably terrible, that the one thing he does really well is to try to push back against Republicans and make them the bad guy.
But is he right on the Christian-Muslim test?
Well, I think there's a couple of things on that. I think that he's, one, taking it out of context for a reason. I do think that Christians are persecuted more severely by ISIS. That is just a proven fact. And you could look at refugee status. There's a whole process that goes through, and immigration lawyers do a lot of good work. It's very complicated. You probably know a lot more about that than I do. There is a national security test. You also ask about religion, and you invite people in because America is a wonderful place. We agree, but we want to keep it that way, and it's not unreasonable to ask for a pause.
It's tough to reduce it down to pithy sound bites. Dana, great to see you. We'll be right back.